If you need any Xbox or PlayStation codes or any cheap PC games, use the referral link in the description. It will take you over to g2a.com. They already have a discount on most of their goods, and if you use the code CHES at checkout, you can get yourself an extra 3% off as well. Hey guys, how's it going? Ches back again, and welcome to my FIFA 17 The Journey video. This has obviously been coming for a couple of weeks. It was rather unfortunate timing when they announced The Journey. They announced it at EA Play on the Sunday, and then a couple of days later I flew to Spain for a week. So unfortunately this video is a little bit later coming to you. As a result of that, I won't be covering a lot of the stuff in too much detail because I'm sure almost every single one of you, down to a person, has been watching and researching as much as possible as you can be for the FIFA 17 The Journey game mode. So I'm not going to cover in too much detail. You will have seen the majority of the stuff and heard the majority of the stuff before. What I want to know is what you think of FIFA 17 The Journey. I will cover the basics here in this video, and I'll let you know my personal opinions and what I plan to do with the Journey game mode when FIFA 17 drops later this year. But I want to know what you guys think as well. Are you looking forward to the Journey? Do you think it's a good idea, a good addition to the game? And we'll build on that throughout the entirety of the video. I'm not sure how long this will be as I'm recording the intro. It may be 10 minutes, it may be 20, it may be 6. And I'll be just putting on screen some various screenshots throughout the video. It's not necessarily a visual video, so if you want to tab out of this, just minimise it and get on with something else whilst listening to my thoughts, or by all means be constructing your own comment in the comment section down below whilst we go through. So the basics of the game mode are you play as Alex Hunter, one individual person, rather than being able to create your own pro. You will still be able to do a My Player Style series by building your own character and putting your game face on it, etc. But that will still be only part of the normal career mode situation. You won't be able to use your own pro in FIFA 17 The Journey. They went with a sole character. They said that it would be easier to, to tell the story with one individual rather than having to, kind of take inspiration from other games where they might give you a nickname and then they'd be like, oh, hey, the champ, come over here. It doesn't necessarily lend itself towards, the flow of dialogue, etc. within a conversation. So they decided to go with just the one individual character. So you will play as Alex Hunter throughout FIFA 17 The Journey. However, you will be able to customize it slightly with regards where you start your career. You will be able to start at any of the 20 Barclays Premier League clubs. Obviously, in all of the trailers, or majority of the trailer, and in the demo that we played at EA Play, you were at Manchester United. However, you will be able to start at any of the Barclays Premier League clubs. So when I do my FIFA 17 The Journey series, when FIFA 17 drops, I'll be obviously doing it at Chelsea. You can see from the thumbnail of this video, that's actually got him in a white away Chelsea shirt with the Chelsea dressing room behind him. So you can, if you're a Leicester fan, you can start at Leicester. If you're a West Ham fan, you can start at West Ham. I do like the fact that they're not forcing you to start at Manchester United, sorry. So there is a little bit of customization there. Unfortunately, for those of you that are outside of the UK, you won't be able to start at any other top division clubs. You will have to be in the Barclays Premier League. However, there are going to be subtitles, etc. So if you don't necessarily speak English, or you don't speak English well, it's not your mother tongue, then you will be able to keep up and be able to tell what's going on with the story and the various different dialogues, etc. in your own language, whilst obviously playing for a BPL club, which is pretty realistic. Obviously, players come from all around the world to play in the Barclays Premier League and don't necessarily speak English when they get here. So it would make sense that subtitles are available, just from a realism standpoint and from a business standpoint with regards to making it accessible to as many people as possible. So I'm going to start, obviously, like I say, at Chelsea, and you join the story at the beginning, of the early stages of your career, as you're basically breaking in to the starting lineup or to the first team squad at your given club, whichever one you decide, alongside one of your best friends from your youth. So the two of you are kind of entering the first team squad picture at the same time. And how that friendship develops throughout your time at said club will depend on your actions on the pitch, on your conversation with, or conversations with family and friends, with said best friend, with your coach, etc., and of course the conversations you have or press interviews that you give and your reactions to them, the comments that you make in the media. Obviously, as you may have seen, and I'll probably make sure that the one screen that shows the options that you have in a certain scenario is on screen now. You will have multiple options, normally 3, I believe, at least there's 3 in the picture, and when we played the demo at EA Play there were 3 options again, and you'll be able to make a decision on which way you want to answer any question or which way you want to reply in a conversation, etc. And each reply that you give will create not necessarily a full new branch of the story mode, but it will genuinely dictate what cutscenes you see and your relationships with the people that you're talking to. And say you're in the media, you can give a response that's perhaps a little bit cocky or maybe a little bit selfish, etc. And in the bottom corner, at least in the demo, it showed it in the bottom corner, it would say like manager and then a green up arrow or a red down arrow, and the same with friends and family and fans, etc. So presumably that's leading towards the social media side of things. So every single conversation you have and every single press interview you give can affect the relationships with the people that you're going through the story mode with, and will dictate which cutscenes you see and which direction that your story goes. So presumably there will be the availability for multiple playthroughs. Now, how much diversity in those very different cutscenes there is, obviously before release we're not sure. I will do my own initial The Journey series, and then maybe towards the end of the year I'll do another one and see if we can create some different cutscenes. Perhaps even throughout the year, EA may release updates and patches, etc., that add in extra storylines for more replayability. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. They haven't really said anything else other than just the announcement so far and the basic setup of your situation with Alex Hunter at the club, as in you're breaking into the first team. They haven't said. Well, basically, they can't really say what's going to happen throughout it because it all depends on how you perform on pitch and what you say to various different people and how your friendships and relationships develop throughout the story. So it is going to be very unique to you. I'm not sure whether the choice of club will affect those relationships. So obviously, take this with a pinch of salt, but living in London and being at a club like Chelsea would perhaps be more desirable and have a different impact on your relationships rather than being in, say, Sunderland, for example, which isn't necessarily a more desirable place to live. If you see where I'm coming from, I'm not sure whether that will have an effect on it. I presume not, because obviously you can select any of the 20 sides, and that would kind of maybe shoehorn you into selecting one of the bigger sides. So to generally encourage people to select any of the sides, then you would think that perhaps you'd be allowed to start at any of the clubs, and it won't necessarily have an effect on the direction of your story. But again, we're not sure. We'll have to wait and see what happens when release comes around. So they're basically the basics. That's all we know really so far, just to cover it. If you have done plenty of research previously, then you'll know a few more smaller details, but I'm not going to cover everything because obviously it's been 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of you will already know, and I don't want to just rehash old stuff for you. So my plan with FIFA 17 The Journey when it comes out is to start at Chelsea. And I think rather than trying to purposefully go out of my way to dictate a certain, not necessarily career path, but create a certain personality for Alex Hunter, because you will have options that are, like I say, like selfish or cocky and something like that. You could kind of almost create your own personality traits with Alex Hunter as you go through the career mode. And I'm probably going to address those with regards to the way that I would personally respond to those certain situations, those questions, those conversations, what I would say in those scenarios. So I'd like to think that perhaps my first initial run through with Alex Hunter will be the most genuine to the sort of career that I would have were I in those situations and were I a professional footballer, etc. And then maybe later in the year we could go through, or maybe on stream or something, and go through and purposefully try and be like a cocky Zlatan type player, or maybe purposefully be a humble kind of pro, and see if you get a variety of different cutscenes and maybe some fresh scenarios, situations that you find yourself in because of those decisions that you've made. That's what I'm going to do with my first one. So I'm going to try and be me, so to speak. So it will be my journey rather than the journey. So that's what I plan to do anyway. You'll have to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the game mode and whether you'll be playing it. I know a lot of people are pretty encouraged by the introduction of a story mode. Obviously, the Frostbite engine helps no end when it comes to building a mode like this, because you can now, or they can now, obviously, because the engine has been used in so many different games, they can add in like shots on a plane, and you can be in the training ground and in the ground itself, and shots at home and things like that. Whereas previously with the Ignite engine, it was only on pitch stuff and kind of the 3D scans of the stadiums that they were able to create. But with the Frostbite engine, it opens up a whole new world of possibility for the future of FIFA as a franchise, not just the journey as an individual story. Whether they'll do this in multiple years to come, I'm not sure. I guess it depends on how well it goes down in this first year. But the hype for the journey genuinely seems to be real. So hopefully it fulfills all of the promises that it's been making, and it is genuinely an extremely enjoyable experience. So I'm genuinely really looking forward to it. So fingers crossed you guys are as well. Let me know in the comment section, like I say, whether you're looking forward to it, where you're going to start as well. That might be a nice thing to see, whether a lot of you are going to start with the bigger sides, or whether you're going to start at a smaller side and maybe try and work your way up through the rankings of the BPL, as well as into the first team squad of whichever club you're at, and then perhaps into European football as well. I don't think they've said anything with regards the length of the journey, whether it's just a 1 season thing, whether it's a 2 or 3 or maybe even more season thing. I genuinely don't know right now. If there has been some information about that, then do let me know in the comment section, because I haven't been able to find anything so far that mentions how long the journey actually is scheduled for. So we'll just have to wait and see, I suppose. But that is basically my thoughts on the journey. I'm encouraged. I'm definitely looking forward to getting my hands on it in full. Like I say, I played the demo at EA Play and was genuinely impressed with it and pretty excited, to be completely honest. So fingers crossed we'll be able to carry that excitement into a FIFA 17 The Journey save and a series once the game drops. That'll probably be the first thing that I do on FIFA 17 when early access drops 5 days before release. I'll start my first ever FIFA 17 series will be The Journey, and I'll probably do only that, perhaps, until the full game drops, and then we have obviously unlimited hours of access when the full game drops, because during EA Access you only get 10 hours worth of gameplay. So to be able to start a My Player series and the journey and full management career mode with only 10 hours worth of gameplay might be a little bit silly. So we'll do the journey first. And maybe I'll just get EA access on another account so I can record for like a My Player, etc. And a full management career mode. But for now, that's going to bring this video to a close. Drop the video a like if you enjoyed and you're looking forward to the journey. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel too, to ensure you don't miss out on any more content between now and FIFA 17, and of course the FIFA 17 release itself, and plenty of years after that, hopefully, with the growth of the channel so far. So thank you very much for your support, and let me know in the comment section what you think of the journey as a whole. I really am genuinely curious to see what you guys think, because I've had kind of tidbits on Twitter and in the chat on my Twitch, and you guys genuinely seem to be pretty excited, which kind of matches my mood for it. So hopefully it will be absolutely fantastic when the game comes out. So we'll go through our journey together then, but for now, this video's journey is coming to a close. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.